Trappist Rochefort 10. Alright, so got the 10 at 11.3%. Got it pre-poured here. And head's densed up real nice. Very creamy. Got some brown sediment in there. Got all that in there real good, so we got all the yeast in here. Picked up the Delirium Christmas pack here with the goblet. I got the Delirium Christmas, the Nocturne, the Christmas, and the Delirium. And I'm not a big authority in there. I've had the Nocturne before a couple years ago or whatever, so gonna try the rest of them out. It was a really good deal. It was like 19 bucks, so assuming that was a good deal. That's less than $5 a beer for these Belgian beers plus the goblet. I seem to remember that if I pick up the singles, they're probably more around $6 a piece. So possibly maybe they're less than that. I'll find out and I'll kick myself in the ass possibly. So anyway, stay tuned for those. Can't wait to try that out. And this one right here. So yeah, let's have a look at it. So I've had the 8 and the 6 before. Yeah. And I enjoyed them enough. This isn't my most favorite Belgian beers I've ever had. They are really good though. They're kind of a bit watery, I find. You know, you can kind of see a bit of transparency up here at the top of the goblet here. It really thins out. This one's very murky with the yeast in there and everything and all the sediment. Very rich, quite mellow. At 11.3%, this, you don't get it at all until it goes down. In the aftertaste, you get a lot of alcohol vapor, like basically ethanol, straight moonshine, coming out your nostrils. And then you're like led on to a little bit. Okay, there's some serious booze in there. 11.3, that's a pretty big beer. Big for me, anyway. It's got a really nice bitterness as it transitions right into the end. Just kind of hits you real sharp for a second. There's a lot of neat flavors that kind of happen through it. I warm this up fairly warm. It's probably about a degree or two maybe colder than what you might be ideal. But typically I go a couple degrees colder rather than a couple of degrees too warm. Just be on the safe side usually. Oh, it's a great kind of spicy. I almost got like almost like a black pepper type aroma out of there for a second. Almost like has like a cinnamon fennel vibe to it, but I wouldn't quite go as that far as to throw that into the associations. It's really kind of a elusive aroma and flavor going on here. I've had a lot of trouble comparing to make flavor associations, we'll say, with these Trappist Rochefort products. Kind of, it's got a great yeastiness to it. Not the big peppery yeast, maybe that's where I got the pepper aroma from that shot for a second there, but it's kind of like, almost like a bread dough yeastiness aroma. But like, not just very subtle. Everything about this beer is quite subtle. Even the alcohol, 11.3, is kind of subtle. If like it wasn't for that vapor, You wouldn't get it if alcohol didn't evaporate that easily. You wouldn't get that. Because on the way down, you don't get it at all. I still pick up fennel. I get a lot of fennel. Always. In a lot of beers, I get fennel. But this definitely, almost like a soapiness to it in the texture of it all. You do pick up some earthy kind of Belgian red ale type hoppage in the finish for sure. It's got a nice richness to it, even though it's kind of a thinner body. Like, I wouldn't say thin. It's not a thin body beer, but for what I would expect out of 11.3% beer, it's thin for that. I mean, I would expect it to be at least some kind of level up on heaviness. But it is kind of rich, sticky. Like I said, that fennelness flavor gets the vibe, sticky, kind of whole texture about the beer a little bit. Very creamy head, you know, almost looks like a nitro beer head. Happens on some of these Belgian beers, you get that super creaminess going on. Would I recommend trying it? Absolutely. Especially you can pick this up in singles. Absolutely worth a shot. I mean, I can't see anyone who likes Belgian beers being disappointed by this at all. This is a pretty bang, and I like it a lot. I like the 8 and I like the 6. I like them all. Takes a bit of getting used to, though. I mean, if you're with this style, that kind of these darker ones, a lot of the doubles I find are kind of similar in texture and weight and all the rest of it, and similar flavor too as to what's going on with all three of these. And that's taken me a bit of getting used to. Like when I had Orval first time, I guess it's been on fire sale all around the places. Everyone reviewed Orval. I finally found it. Thought, oh great, Orval! I finally get to review it, and then like 90 other people reviewed it. So, but that was probably my favorite Belgian beer ever, possibly. If I remember, you know, I might not remember them all, but that was definitely. I was very impressed by that. This I'm very impressed with as well. This is a really good one. Not quite my thing as much as the Orval was super cool, so check that out. But this is a great finish. Like there's such a rich kind of. I'm starting to get some more dark fruits happening now. Like the beer is morphing quite rapidly, more rapidly than a lot of your red wines. Even since I started this glass, it's really progressed a lot. It's starting to open up. These goblets are great for swirling your Belgian beers. This helps them ungas, and I find it really helps them out. So I do this with them quite a bit. Get a bit of that CO2 out of the beer, help it open up, bring a lot of the stuff up into the head, a lot of the bitterness and stuff. So now your beer is going to change again. Like I said, I shook up the yeast. Like I spun the bottle a bit before I poured it, so I got the yeast in here. You might want to wait before you pour, or you'll have a spill. It will more than likely spray out. There's quite a bit of carbonation in these bottle conditioned Belgian beers generally. So now I look at that head now. Sweet. A lot of the aroma I'm getting the fennel. It's heavy yet it's thin, which is really weird. Like it's heavy flavor and a bit of the texture, but there's a nice watery lightness to the other part of the body of the beer. It's kind of heavy yet also light. Like it has a texture transition as well as a flavor transition. It's kind of weird. Quite a bit of aroma come off here, but these Trappist Rochefort beers are all what I would consider to be quite mellow, especially for what ABVs are packing and stuff. And being Belgian beers in general, a lot of times the yeast can be quite abrasive and very very flavorful with a lot of peppers and bananas and cloves and stuff in the flavor just off the yeast. And these ones are, I'm sure that's where a lot of these flavors are coming from, but it's still very mellow, subdued. It's a really relaxing beer. This is definitely a chill out beer. Take your time with it. I mean, don't feel bad if it takes you half an hour to drink it. I mean, that's fine. It's not warming it up and degassing. It's not going to hurt it much. So Like every time I swirl it though, you get a big blast of aroma. Like there's a lot of aroma coming out of here. There's almost like more aroma than flavor. Like the aroma's richer, and then when you drink it, it's kind of nice because it's very subdued and mellow, and so it's like seriously just a chill out beer. The nice thing is with all those big aromas, it really helps out the taste too, because you're just getting a blast of major aroma. And now that it's warming up, I'm getting bigger flavor out of it. Damn, it's like a fine cigar. That's how I compare some of these mellower, higher end Belgians. They're like a fine Cuban cigar. They're, you know, first time I had a Cuban cigar, I don't smoke anymore, but I was like, wow, you know, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, why does everyone keep bragging about Cuban cigars? I had cigars from all kinds of different countries near Cuba and wherever, and they're always really harsh and a lot going on, very heavy, very harsh. The Cubans are so mellow, so mellow, and that's kind of like these big Belgian beers. They're very mellow, easy going beers. Well, with these Trappist Rochefort ones anyway. Damn. Anyway, I'm about done. All I can tell really is it's a beer you have to try. I recommend trying it. For the style, I definitely probably have to give it a Spinal Tap pretty much. I have a 10 3/4 out of the style, but this beer overall, I think I'll 10 it out of 11. Really, I know it's really epic. It's really epic beer. I Spinal Tap certain beers. This one, I guess, could be a Spinal Tap, but I'm gonna 10 it because I think that there might be one that I like a little bit more than this one, but I do really enjoy this one. It definitely taking me some getting used to, but very enjoyable. And if you need to chill out, if you need to have a chill out time with your beer, just like need to go relax, I definitely recommend this one. I also recommend sake for that. Japanese, you know, rice wine sake, which is technically beer. That stuff is a very soothing vibe you get off drinking it, like a relaxing buzz, and that's kind of what I get off of this too. So if you really need to just unwind and chill out, Trappist Rochefort is a great beer for that, and so is a lot of the sake's such a great buzz. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. I'm not talking about getting drunk. I'm just talking about having a couple drinks. Sake is another great way to relax. So, Beerzerker, 10 out of 11. Awesome beer. It's a must-have, must-try. Find it in a single. Try it out. Yeah. Absolutely. And not much else to say. Epic beer. And Ginge Real Ale Trail did the 10, the 8, and the 6. And then I believe, wasn't too sure what was going on, but I think he's blending them to make a 16 or whatever and other ones. So I think I'll put a link to that one down here as well. And stay tuned for these Delirium, this Delirium pack. I'm really, it's been a long time since I had that, and I'm really curious, mostly for myself. I'm going to stay tuned to watch that review because I'm really curious about how those beers are. Just, you know, I'm just hanging on to my seat here. Beerzerker! Drink it in my mouth, yeah!